Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your program Africa Today. We'll be discussing the latest developments on the ground in the African continent, and we'll be discussing today a lot of topics, on top of which is the Ebola outbreak in the DRC, and the cases rise as response intensifies. In the health authorities in Central Africa are racing to contain a growing Ebola outbreak in the country caused by the strain of the virus, as new infections continue to be reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo and also in the neighboring Uganda. Let's watch the following report and come back.
The Ebola outbreak affecting the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda remains a major public health concern. According to the latest reports, the number of confirmed cases in DRC has continued to rise, with health officials reporting more than 700 confirmed infections and over 140 deaths. New cases are still being identified, indicating ongoing community transmission. The outbreak is caused by the Bangala strain of Ebola, a variant for which no licensed vaccine currently exists. This has complicated response efforts and increased pressure on researchers and international health organizations to accelerate the testing of promising vaccine candidates and treatments. The World Health Organization says the outbreak is unfolding in a challenging environment marked by insecurity, population movement, and limited healthcare infrastructure. Health workers are expanding surveillance testing, contact tracing, and public awareness campaigns in affected communities. Experts emphasize that local engagement is critical to controlling the outbreak. Community leaders, healthcare workers, and international partners are working together to strengthen trust and encourage people to seek treatment early. While the outbreak remains concentrated in Central Africa, global health organizations continue to monitor the situation closely to prevent further regional spread.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching Africa Today, and today Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdelghati held a phone call with his Djiboutian counterpart, where Minister of Foreign Affairs discussed with his Djiboutian counterpart Abu Bakr Hussein Omar ways to strengthen bilateral relations and exchange views on developments in the Horn of Africa. The two ministers praised the strong momentum in Egypt-Djibouti ties and affirmed their keenness to enhance cooperation in various fields. The call tackled the security and political situation in the Horn of Africa, stressing the importance of supporting state institutions, preserving the sovereignty and territorial integrity of regional countries. The minister stressed the rejection to any unilateral actions that undermine stability and opposing attempts to establish parallel entities that threaten the national unity. Meanwhile, both ministers agreed to continue close coordination and consultations on regional and international issues, as well as efforts to promote peace, security, and stability across the African continent, particularly in the Horn of Africa and the Red Sea region. And to shed more light on this topic, we are very delighted to have with us over the phone Dr. Mohammed Al-Azabi. He's an international relations expert. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Azabi, Foreign Minister Badr Abdelghati held a phone call with his Djiboutian counterpart discussing a lot of topics. Would you please shed more light on this?
Well, there is a telephone conversation between Egypt's Foreign Minister, Dr. Badr Abdelghati, and Djibouti's Foreign Minister, Abdel Hussein Omar, reflect the growing strategic partnership between Cairo and Djibouti at the time of increasing geopolitical competition and security challenges in the Horn of Africa and the Red Sea region. The discussion carried important political, economic, and security dimensions that reveals Egypt's border regional strategy. Also, the conversation highlights the steady expansion of Egypt-Djibouti relation in recent years. Several factors explain the increasing importance of this relationship. First, Djibouti occupies one of the world's most strategic geographic locations at the entrance of the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Egypt views Djibouti as a key partner in protecting maritime security and ensuring freedom of navigation. Both countries share concerns regarding regional stability and external intervention in the Horn of Africa. Cairo seeks to deepen its political and economic presence in East Africa as a part of its broader African engagement strategy. The emphasis of strengthening cooperation demonstrates that bilateral ties are moving beyond traditional diplomatic coordination towards long-term strategic cooperation.
Dr. Azabi, what message does this meeting send regarding the cooperation among the African countries so far?
Well, we have a lot of messages for this call. First, if we talk about the economic cooperation, a major focus of the discussion involved expanding cooperation in energy sector. That Egypt has developed significant experts in electricity generation, renewable energy, and energy infrastructure. Djibouti is seeking to diversify its energy sources and improve energy access, creating opportunities for Egyptian companies and technical cooperation. If we talk about logistics and ports, Djibouti hosts one of Africa's most important port complexes and serves as a gateway for regional trade. Cooperation in this field offers several advantages: increased trade flows between East Africa and Egypt, enhanced connectivity across the Red Sea, greater integration of maritime transport network, maritime connectivity, which the discussion on maritime links is particularly significant because it strengthens commercial ties, it supports supply chains between North and East Africa, it reinforces economic integration with the continent. Egypt also Egyptian construction and infrastructure companies have gained extensive experience across Africa. Participation in Djibouti infrastructure projects could increase Egyptian investment abroad, support Djibouti development agenda, create long-term economic partnership.
Dr. Azabi, how are Egypt and Djibouti working together within the framework of the African Union and the Arab League?
Well, we know that Egypt and Djibouti have the same important aspect of the talks, was encouraging greater cooperation with under the umbrella of the African Union, especially about the cases of Horn of Africa, and they have the same point of view about to save the unity of Somali and protect the land of Somali from any external being and helping Somaliland to have a part of Somali. Also, they can cooperate in many struggles in Africa, like Sudan and many things. Also, they have the same opinions about making political efforts to solve all the struggles in Africa. So they can cooperate with the African Union to solve the problem of Sudan, to solve the problem of Somali and the Horn of Africa at all.
Yes, we want to talk more, Dr. Azabi, about the Horn of Africa, as you just mentioned. So how are Egypt and Djibouti coordinating on regional challenges in the Horn of Africa?
Well, the security discussions underscore Egypt's concerns regarding development in the Horn of Africa. The region remains one of the most geopolitically sensitive area in Africa due to ongoing conflict and political instability, competition among regional and international actors, maritime security challenges, strategic proximity to the Red Sea. For Egypt, stability in the Horn of Africa directly affects national security because of its connection to Red Sea security and international trade routes. One of the most important messages delivered by Minister Abdulati was Egypt reaffirming of respect for state sovereignty, preservation of territorial integrity, support of national institutions, rejecting of unilateral actions, and undermine stability. This position reflects Egypt's long-standing foreign policy principle and can be interpreted with the broader context of regional dispute and political tensions in the Horn of Africa. By emphasizing these principles, Cairo is signaling support for internationally recognized government and opposition to attempts that could fragment a state of weakened national institutions. Also, the statement reference to rejecting attempt to impose parallel entities carries a significant strategic implications. This position aligned with Egypt's concerns regarding separatist movement, political fragmentation, challenges to recognize the state authority, action that could destabilize already fragile political system. So Egypt appears to be advocated a rules-based regional order in which political disputes are addressed through dialogue and recognized legal frameworks rather than unilateral actions.
Dr. Azabi, we want to talk more about the strategic partnership between Egypt and Djibouti in the Red Sea region.
Well, also the conversation between the two foreign ministers also highlighted the continued coordination regarding Red Sea security.
Yeah.
The Red Sea has become increasingly important due to global trade routes, energy transportation, international naval activities, regional security concerns. Both Egypt and Djibouti occupy a strategic position along this critical maritime corridor.
Yeah.
This cooperation contributes to maritime security, protection of shipping lanes, countering regional instability, supporting international trade flows. So both Egypt and Djibouti can control the maritime through the Red Sea from Bab el-Mandab to the Suez of Canal.
Yeah, of course. Dr. Mohammed Al-Azabi, the international relations expert. Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us today in Africa Today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving to a new topic, which is the free trade area in Africa, where Africa's ambitious free trade project is entering a new phase, with governments, businesses, and investors intensifying efforts to transform the African continental free trade area into a driver of economic growth and also regional integration.
The African Continental Free Trade Area continues to gain momentum as African leaders focus on turning policy commitments into practical economic benefits. Recent meetings involving policymakers, investors, and business leaders have emphasized the need to accelerate implementation and expand trade opportunities across the continent. The agreement aims to create a single African market by reducing tariffs, easing trade barriers, and facilitating the movement of goods and services among participating countries. Covering a market of more than 1.3 billion people, the agreement is considered one of the world's largest free trade areas by numbers of participating nations. Recent progress includes the continued rollout of the Guided Trade Initiative, expansion of tariff concessions, development of digital trade frameworks, and wider adoption of the Pan-African payment and settlement system, which allows businesses to conduct transactions using local currencies and reduces dependence on foreign exchange. Despite these advances, challenges remain: infrastructure gaps, non-tariff barriers, regulatory differences, and logistics costs continue to affect trade across the continent. Policymakers argue that overcoming these obstacles will be essential for realizing the trade area's full potential and boosting intra-African trade. As implementation moves forward, many economists view the agreement as a key tool for strengthening African supply chains, creating job opportunities, attracting investment, and positioning the continent as a more influential player in the global economy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching Africa Today, and now let's have a closer look on the world of sports. For the first time in World Cup history, Africa is represented by 10 national teams, reflecting the continent's growing influence in global football. From traditional powerhouses to emerging nations, Africa teams are entering the tournament with higher expectations than ever before. Let's watch the following report.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup has opened a new chapter for African football. With 10 African nations participating, the continent has secured its largest ever representation at football's biggest event, highlighting years of investment in talent development, coaching, and continental competitions. Several African teams have already drawn international attention. Morocco entered the tournament carrying momentum from its historic run to the World Cup semi-finals in 2022, while Egypt, led by Captain Mohamed Salah, is preparing for a highly anticipated opening match against Belgium. South Africa has also returned to the World Cup stage after a long absence, generating excitement among supporters across the continent. Football analysts point to the increasing number of African coaches leading national teams and the improved tactical organization of African sides as signs of a maturing football culture. The tournament is also showcasing players of African heritage competing across the different national teams, further highlighting the continent's global football impact. Beyond the results on the pitch, the World Cup offers African nations a platform to project a positive image, attract investment, and inspire a new generation of athletes. As the tournament progresses, fans across Africa will be watching closely to see whether one of the representatives can make another historic deep run and further elevate the continent's standing in world football.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our program today. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned for more to come on Nile TV International. This was Abir Mitwali. Thank you.